Hello everyone, welcome to Sunset Acres Farm. If you're new here, we're the Smith family and we moved from a 1/4 acre lot to our now 4-acre homestead about 5 years ago.
I'm Emily and today I'm going to be teaching you how to breed rabbits.
So you always want to make sure you bring the doe to the buck, no matter if it's bringing the doe to the buck's cage or putting the buck in a separate pen and then bringing the doe to him. Either way, you always want to bring the doe to the buck, never the buck to the doe, because does are more territorial than bucks. So you don't want any aggression shown between the two of them, because accidents can happen. So you're going to start by bringing the buck to the doe, and then your buck is going to mount your doe. And if it is a successful breeding, then the buck will do a dramatic fall off, which you will see later in the video. We ended up checking this doe's vulva, and it was like a pale color, so we knew that she wasn't actually ready, so we ended up taking her out and trying the next doe. We checked our next doe's vulva, and her vulva wasn't very bright. It was very pale, but we did try her anyway, and it wasn't a successful breeding, so we moved on to our creme d'argent does. Unfortunately, these two does didn't breed, but we did breed two of our other silver foxes, which was good. So I took out my young creme d'argent doe, Kitty, and we sexed her, and she was not bright pink, but she was a little bit definitely more bright than the other silver foxes. So I thought she might breed, but she didn't end up breeding either, so we moved on to our other creme d'argents, which I'll show you in a minute. So we took out another one of our creme d'argents. She's a little bit older, and she, as you can see, we just had a fall off, which was really good. We had a second one in a little bit later, but this one, she was bright pink, and I almost purple, and I knew she was ready. Also, when I put her in, her tail was up. It's as you can see, the buck is sniffing her vulva and licking it, which is a good sign. It will sometimes actually, if your doe's not completely into estro, will help them get into it, but she was already into estro. As you can see, she was definitely very ready, and I got 2 fall-offs with her, so I am super happy with that. So the buck mounted the doe again, and he tensed up and had another fall-off, which was really good. I was happy. I always like to have at least 2 fall-offs. So usually after I have 2 fall-offs, I like to take the doe out. I think it's a good idea to take the doe out once you have 2 fall-offs. So once I had the second fall-off, I took this doe out and tried the next one. So the next doe had a pretty pink vulva, so I thought that was pretty promising. As soon as I put her in there, she had a fall-off. I couldn't even get that on camera. So technically she had 2 fall-offs, but only one of these is on camera because I could not get the other one on camera because Aslan got that one so fast. So I only have the second one on camera, but she did have 2 fall-offs. So if you can't get your doe bred, something that you can do is switch the cages. Literally put the doe in the buck's cage and the buck in the doe's cage. It will help the doe come into estro if she's smelling the buck, because that will bring her into estro. Also, if our buck area, there's other bucks would be around her, so that would also bring her into estro. So that can be helpful. Also, sometimes I help by lifting the doe's hindquarters and also lifting the tail so the buck can lick and smell her vulva, which also helps. But with this doe and my other creme d'argent doe, I actually did not have to help, but just sometimes I do have to help, so that's something that can help you guys get your does bred. Sometimes my does play hard to get and will run around like crazy or put their butts in the corners, but eventually your buck is going to be able to mount your doe and have a successful fall off, which will be good if your doe is in estro, of course. But as you can see here, in a minute, Aslan mounts her, gets a successful fall off, and dramatically falls on his side, and he also a lot of times grunts, he's a very dramatic buck. So not all bucks do this, but they will all fall off if it is a successful fall off.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. And blessings from Sunset Acres Farm.